Hey everyone, so got some snow to move again. Not a heck of a lot, but enough. Probably just gonna start the payloader and just drive over most of it because I like having it packed down so I don't always move the rocks and stuff around. But got a new starter in the beast. Managed to find one off eBay. Had a pretty good size price tag, but it's brand new and it works good. And it'll be nice to be able to use it again. So let's get her fired up and move some snow. Well, that was pretty interesting. Normally it starts a little better than that, but I like to give it a little bit of a throttle so that it gets a little more fuel. But my throttle is froze. So, well, it's running, so we'll just leave it run a while. Maybe that'll unfreeze, or I'll have to get the heat gun out or something and get that unstuck. So one thing I've been working on that I wanted to get done before winter, but unfortunately it didn't happen because sometimes I just have too much stuff to do. So, and then this winter was actually pretty mild for us anyhow, so I was able to finish it by doing some stuff periodically. But here it is. It's probably not 100% done. I still want to make a couple of nesting boxes, and there was something else I wanted to do too, but now I don't remember what it was. So this pen is 20 by 24, and so you're 6.5 feet high. Tin around the bottom, buried about 6 inches down. And then one thing I did differently on this one was how I attached the top net. I decided to run a cable. I put down eye bolts to run the cable through, and then the netting is hog ringed to the cable. Same thing like on my other pens in my older video. The door is an automatic latching quick latch with a screen door spring pulled shut. So here's a better look at all that. You can see that I did a hog ring on each section. Then when I strung the cable through, I used these turnbuckles, pull it real nice and tight. On this pen I went with 2x4 bracing. I think, this winter, like I say, has been pretty mild, but on these bigger open areas, I think I'm going to run a cable from side to side just to add a little more brace to these larger areas of netting. When you do pens with netting, you got to come out and knock the snow down anyway, but it'd be nice to have a little extra support. Then down the middle, I just got these posts for the top braces to connect to. So then I added a roost bar right here in the middle of the pen. As you can see, I got some cover in here, a few trees, and then I got ones leaned up against the outside of the pen because the direction we're pointing now is to the northwest, and right now our grove is kind of non-existent because we cleaned it up, planted a bunch of new trees, made the grove smaller. So I just did some extra wind protection. And then to try and make this pen a little more natural, I got some rocks in here. And then I also built 2 pools. We're only using one at the moment. Here's the other one. I'll say on this one I kind of goofed up and I put the drain right in the middle, so it's not very easy to rinse it out and clean it. Kind of thought of that after I had this one made and buried. So on the other one, the drain is actually off to the side here, and then I sloped the whole thing this way, so hopefully this one should be easier to clean. Right now I'm just running a tank heater in there to keep it unfrozen. I know a lot of people just like running the garden hose and just trickling it in to keep it unthawed. I guess I'd be fine with that too, but I'm not 100% sure how well my drainage system is going to work. And the way my luck works is I don't really want to freeze up a hydrant. Plans for this barn that it's attached to is come springtime I'm actually going to build a pen identical to that one on this side as well. It's just I think I'm only going to go with a 1 pond system instead of a 2. And then as we get inside here, I have a few updates I want to make. See, I got these brooder boxes. They're built into the wall. It's just 3 of them. And then I got 3 more on the other side. That's where I brood some of my little babies. Right now I got adult quail in this one that I gotta build them like their own little hutch yet. And then I'll see if I can find a before picture and I'll tack in here. But there's 2 doors here now because I actually plan on splitting the inside here into 2 pens, which I've kind of already started building the divider wall. So there'll be, you know, plywood along the bottom, wire along the top, and then I'll, you know, this is just a temporary roost bar for now, but I'll incorporate removable roost bars in here like I got in my other chicken house. And basically I can have 2 pens for breeding time. Or, you know, when breeding time's over, I can put all the adults to one side and put younger ones in the other side, or young adults, however it ends up working out. Right now in that pen, I just got a trio of pheasants and then a few young male peacocks. We'll just come back in the pen here. I got these ruddy shell ducks in here now, which they're young, and you know, when breeding season comes around they'll get sorted out. And then I got a few wood ducks in here too. Okay, while we're waiting for the throttle cable to come unfroze on the payloader, I got the torpedo heater out there going too. I might have to get the heat gun out and then I can get right on the throttle cable, but we'll see. Anyway, that with the pen building, one thing I wanted to throw in here was some, you know, honorable mention to a few tools that I use that, you know, at one point in time I thought I could get by without, and now that after I've had them, these are some things I think if you're ever going to do any amount of pen building, there's something that you probably should have. First is a super socket. I don't know, you've probably seen the infomercials on the TV for these. You know, it's a socket that fits any size. Now, I can't attest to the durability of this product because I don't think I'm ever going to use it on actual nuts and bolts or working on anything. But this thing was invaluable when it comes to putting in eye bolts because it can, you know, literally fit any size. And they make a smaller one. I mean, truthfully, this thing is pretty heavy. It's pretty large, but I wanted to make sure that I could use large or little eye bolts with it. I mean, I guess if I was going to make a recommendation, get the large one and the small one. Another thing, you know, when we were looking at the netting, how I had it all hog ringed to it. And hog rings are, you know, they're like a staple. You squeeze them together to close them in to make a ring. And, you know, when you're talking a 10 by 24 pen, and when I'm doing a hog ring on every net hole, I think I would have gone insane using the old manual style with each individual in a bag of hog rings. So I got one of these automatic ones. This worked really nice. I mean, I'm happy. It was well worth the money. It was kind of expensive, but it cut my time down by like probably 10 times less than what it would have took with a manual one and doing each individual ring. But you basically got this slide that you pull out that tensions it, and then you slide in a new set. Obviously I got too many left in there, but and then this one's real nice in the fact that the feed runs alongside it. It's not sticking straight out and getting in the way, so you can go straight on with stuff, and you just line it up, line your net and wire up in this notch here, and then pull it, and then it pulls one off, and then it closes it up. Works really good. And another thing, when you know, we've all been there attaching wire. What I've used for years is 3/4 inch galvanized fencing staples, and then I pound them in with a hammer. And that's something too that takes forever. I'll see if I can add a link in the video like here for my other video of my breeder pens that I put together. And all the wire on there is fastened with 3/4 inch galvanized fencing staples that I pounded in by hand, every single one of them. And yeah, my hands were, you know, I would go till I couldn't feel them anymore, and I'd take a break till the next day, and then I'd fasten some more wire. So what I bought is these narrow crown fencing staples. You don't need this long, but I went with 1.25 just for, you know, more holding power. And a air-powered narrow crown fencing stapler. Another thing that's very invaluable if you're building any amount of pens and you're attaching a bunch of wire. I mean, that another thing that cut my time down in tenfold, or however you want to call it. And I mean, another thing that's well worth the money. I mean, if you had to buy a compressor too, then maybe you're getting kind of up there in too much cost. It depends how many pens you're going to build. But this thing, even with them big staples, hardly uses any air pressure. I mean, you could buy one of them cheap little $60 hot dog air compressors, and that would be more than sufficient for that. So I just thought I'd throw that out there. If anybody's building a bunch of pens, these are some tools that I thought were well worth the money to have for pen building. that's it for now. Hope you all enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. I'm pretty excited here now. I can park my payloader over here now. So over here we got a cement slab. Used to have a barn over here, and then the power box was still here yet. So I got her mounted up and getting some outlets wired in. Now I can park the payloader here instead of by the shop, and I got a plug in. I don't have to string a cord, so that's pretty cool. But anyway, once again, thanks for watching, and till next time, catch y'all later.